Jen, it's so good to see you. And I am so excited that you have joined our team to support franchisees and small business owners. And I think it would be really cool to get to know you a little bit more and really understand your coaching style. So let's start there. Could you share a little bit when you think about like, I guess maybe put it this way, when you think about who you want to work with, because you know when you work with people that are the right fit, they're going to get the most value, right? And I that's what we say all the time at AC Inc., which is why, I mean, you and I totally align on that. And I think it would just be cool to talk cool. It'd be cool to talk about, what does that mean? Like when you think about who would be a fit? Because I know there's a lot of there's a lot of like cookie cutter coaches and things out there, and I just don't see you as that. So maybe talk a little bit about how, or the kind of person that you work best with, and sort of how you approach coaching in general.
Well, what's important to me is to be real. And I really am very personable and really want to, that relationship is important between me and whoever I'm going to coach. So I'm looking for someone to coach who's going to be really open to coaching, and can doesn't mind my energy and my little, I can get a little because I get really really excited because I just absolutely love to help. um, I'm not stuffy in any way. It is going to be real, but it's really going to be all about what they need. So I'm going to come in and I approach all of my coaching with what is it that person needs and how can I help them, and deliver on that. So help them get to whatever their goals are, or some of the things that I work with, or work with new franchisees or business owner, are anything from big picture stuff to where they want to go in 10 years and how are we going to get there, to the everyday stuff that you may I remember as a business owner, sometimes my mindset wasn't there. I was kind of feeling like, what am I doing here? Like, I have no business owning my franchise.
You
No,
actually
I
felt
think
that.
I am, right?
Wow.
And you feel like that's normal. Everyone feels like that. And if I can help with that mindset change,
Yeah.
I will do that, putting things in perspective for people. I think I'm really good at.
Yeah,
Um,
let's stay on. There's something I want to stay on here that I thought was really cool. It's that you said some things like I'm not stuffy and all that, and like I think that, yeah, people have this perception that to be a business owner and a business coach, you're only going to be successful if you're like this stuffy and kind of, and you and I are both just so not like that. And when we can help people be their true self and play to their strengths and their superpowers, that's where they're going to get the growth. And I'm getting a chill because I just know that to be true. And so that's what I see you doing, like going, okay, let's see what is your true problem. And like you said, whether it's something in the bigger, higher, like strategic things that you're trying to figure out, or and in a minute we'll talk about specifically some of the things that you've helped people with in the past and can continue to help people with. But even just like understanding that business coaching isn't about you showing up with a template that you're going to follow and you're going to come down on them hard because they didn't do their steps and they didn't, right? Like how would you approach, before we get into kind of more examples of things, say you and a client had an agreement to, they're going to do these action steps or whatever, and you show up and they didn't do them, like how would you approach that?
I want to find out, what roadblocks were there, why, because sometimes there's legitimate stuff, right?
Yeah.
We all are people, we have lives, we have kids, the whole bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's legitimate stuff, but sometimes there's not. Sometimes it's just, right, like I have this action step, I know I need to do it, but I really don't want to because I hate doing that. I used to hate going into schools to make connections. I'm not a cold caller type person. And
Mhm.
I get that. So let's look at that action step that may need to be done. It just may, sometimes there's things that just have to be done.
Yeah.
How can we get it done? It may be somebody else does it. I was the queen of outsourcing. I didn't want to go into schools, but I was able to find somebody that in my staff that loved to do that. So
Ooh.
there's ways around things. So we need to figure out what's going to work for that person in
Yeah.
order to accomplish that goal, if that goal is really important for their business to get done.
And maybe you help them realize that that doesn't need to be done or something as well.
Why
But
not? Exactly.
you're really I don't know if exuding is the right word, exuding our core value of everything is figure outable. Like you just
Always.
naturally operate that way. So that's super
Always.
awesome. And I love what you said about the outsourcing, because I hear a lot of small business owners, that myself included, we like, what should we outsource versus what should we do? So it sounds like you help people figure out what they should focus on. Let's go through a couple of examples of things that you help people with, like the kinds of, like getting specific on, like sales or whatever. Like, what are some examples?
There's so many things. I just in my mentoring and coaching in the past, things like systems and processes. A lot of times people don't value them, and as a business owner, you kind of go in and you wing it, and things get done. But then, if you want to ramp up for growth, you have to have processes and systems in place. So I help get those going.
Can you give an
Um,
example of what you mean by that? Because I've realized over the past couple of years that that means different things to different people. So some people, when they hear systems, they think like software, and some people think like, but I don't think you're talking about that. So when you say systems, just an example of something that you systemized in your business or coached other people to systemize that helps you grow.
Well, it could just be right, like a sales process. Like the lead comes in,
Yeah.
what are the systems of where that lead goes, and how can we streamline that? So it might, who's entering it into the system, into the CRM, follow up calls. It could be who's doing, in my case, who's doing the tutor match. Just having a system for a lot of the different tasks that we have to do in a daily basis, that way, especially when you're a single operator like I just did everything. But if you want to grow, you've got to have clear systems of who's doing what, when,
Yeah.
and how. And those are the kinds of things that I can help with. There's a few other things that I saw. A lot of the sales, not everyone's great at sales or has the training or the techniques.
Mm.
I've done so much of that, and I can really help people with the sales process, how to overcome objections, because a
Mm.
lot of us are dealing with objections. Well, how do we overcome? A lot of people are afraid of objections, when really we should welcome objections, because that gives us that opportunity to
Yeah.
overcome them and to then make that sale. Closing techniques. Oh, I worked with a lot of educators in my life at Tutor Doctor who were not salespeople in their
Oh,
mind. So
yeah.
I had to overcome that and show them that by not closing a sale, that they were actually not doing a disservice to the child who needed the help.
Yeah.
So, really those closing techniques, how do you do that? How do you ask for a sale in a way that's comfortable for you as well? Lead generation, I did a ton of community marketing,
Ooh,
really
my
thinking
favorite.
outside the box, right? There's all kinds of regular things that we can do, or you learn to do, but
Yeah.
thinking outside the box is key. Growing, scaling your business to make it what you want it to be. Oh gosh,
Metric,
metrics. I
KPI.
love numbers. We look at metrics. It's vital to make any business decisions based on all of those numbers, that data, that trackable data. Budgeting, profitability, I could go on and on. There's
Yeah.
so much stuff, and I love to do it all.
This is awesome, because I knew you had all these superpowers, but I'm even like getting to learn more and more. So, okay, we've learned a lot about you from a business perspective. I've just got maybe one or two questions to ask you, about, get a little personal. What
Ooh.
is one of your secret indulgences?
Oh, my husband makes fun of me on this, and don't tell anyone.
Okay, yeah.
But
We're not recording.
absolutely love, and nobody hold this against me, but I love reality TV, and I love the worst kind of reality TV, that real, like, housewives,
Like
love
super drama, gossipy, cheesy.
terrible. I shouldn't say terrible. If anybody loves it as much as I do, I don't mean to offend, but I do love it. And it is my secret pleasure that every time my husband walks by while I'm watching it, he rolls his eyes at me. So there
Oh
you
my
go.
gosh. Well, it's like an escape, right? It's probably
Yes.
because it's so far away from real life. It's an escape, and you
Except
got
for I hate when they fight, because that hurts my heart. So I don't like that.
Oh, you're just too kind. I just love your energy. All right. Well, let's wrap it up here. But if anybody wants to get to know you more, they can email you, Jennifer@angelacote.com. Do you want to say it together?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go.
Don't be
Awesome.
awesome.